Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 25th, and today I listened to High Adventure by Kenny Loggins. Okay, I'll admit, this was kind of a weird choice. Even if I did decide to listen to a Kenny Loggins album, there are other ones I could have gone with. But I have a very good reason for picking this one. It was highly recommended to me by my mom. Hey, Mom. My first impression of High Adventure is that it didn't really sound like any other Kenny Loggins songs that I knew, because all three other Kenny Loggins songs that I know are movie soundtracks. I'm Alright from Caddyshack came before this, but Danger Zone and Footloose came after. Still, for me at least, it's kind of weird hearing Kenny Loggins sing stuff that's not attached to a movie. In the same way that Revolver just kind of sounded like the 60s, High Adventure just kind of sounds like the 80s. If Thriller represented the 80s music that demanded attention and got to the top of the charts and took over the radio, High Adventure sort of represented some of the other songs that filled in the gaps. That's not really a knock on this album, though. I thought that most of the songs were fine. Out of all of them, my favorite was the opening track, Don't Fight It, featuring Steve Perry, who is the lead singer of Journey. This pairing is not a surprise to me. Kenny Loggins kind of falls into the same category as bands like Journey or Foreigner. You know, really catchy, high-octane pop rock. But I would say that between the two of them, Steve Perry is by far the more charismatic and compelling vocalist. He kind of ran circles around him on this song. Don't Fight It was catchy, it was fun, it sounds exactly the way you would expect a song made by Kenny Loggins and Steve Perry to sound. My second favorite song was probably If This Is Not What You're Looking For, which was also pretty catchy, and I liked some of the instrumentation in Heartlight. Well, there weren't really any songs from High Adventure that I straight up didn't like. I do kind of have a problem with a few of them in the fact that they just keep going. I feel like this is something that I've said so many times throughout this month, just the songs that don't know when to end. Actually, I think that High Adventure might have one of the higher average song lengths of any album I've listened to this month. The shortest one was Don't Fight It, and it's 3.5 minutes. I just feel like it's usually better to err on the side of leaving the audience wanting a bit more. And lastly, we got the question of, do I think this album holds up? Yeah, I think it does. High Adventure is different from a lot of the other albums this month in the fact that it hasn't been analyzed from every angle over the years. In fact, I'm pretty confident that if my mom hadn't recommended it, this album would never have come up on my radar. Because of that, it was kind of an interesting experience listening to it. In fact, High Adventure is kind of akin to Kenny Loggins himself. He might not have been the absolute best or the absolute most famous and iconic, but he was definitely there. And I think that overall there definitely would have been something missing from 80s music without him. Okay, thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.